You're watching Tyrone Media Network.
Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Daryl Walter Show. Surprise, I'm back for a second season. So, listen, on the Daryl Walter Show, we are going to talk about viral pastors, AI artists that are making the charts. We are going to talk about the open rebuke from Pastor Marvin Winans, and we are going to have a real conversation about accountability. All today on the Daryl Walter Show. So, do me a favor, get comfortable back, and if you're working or pretending to work, make sure you keep that volume on low, okay? I'll see you in a minute. Welcome, everybody, to the Daryl Walter Show. Surprise, I am back, and I am back like I never left, okay? So much has changed since the last time you all have seen me. I was on the West Coast before, and now I am in the heart of the South. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. I've gone through so many sharing with you along many shows. For those of you who have been following me, those of you who are new to the show, there was a time I wasn't in church. There was a time I didn't believe in God. There was a time I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to be bothered with church folks. And look at me now. Hmm, my faith has grown. My locks have grown. I am renewed. So even with the show, the purpose, the premise has changed. Let me get this here out the way. Um, we are going to be focusing on hot topics. We're going to be focusing on what went viral. But what I really believe and what I really hope is that it's not mess, but we're talking about the mess with a purpose to get something out of it. Huh? Okay. So let's get into it. Let's get into what went viral. All right. Let's viral. Keith McQueen, Bishop Keith McQueen. I was not sure if I was going to talk about him, um, but I am. Okay, there he is. Yes, look at him happy. Um, he said a lot. He recently came to a conclusion that life has changed for him. He has been the pastor and founder of Powerhouse Church and the Church of an Affirming Ministry for over 10 years. And he recently came out that he is no longer a practicing homosexual. That's not what I said, that's what he said. Some people, the video that came out has said that he is ex gay. But listen, there is so much to unpack with it. And honestly, deeper than that, he ruffled a lot of feathers, but he inspired me to talk about accountability. So we're gonna get into that a little later and take him off and let's get into hot topics. Let's go. Election night. Election night 2025. Listen, gave us amazing things going on, right? So, one, I want to say congratulations to all of the winners. And it just really gives me hope that democracy is not dead yet. Shout out to my mayor, Andre Dickens, who was reelected for another term. We have our first Muslim mayor of New York. Let me make his name correctly. Hold the line here. Um, Zoran Mamouth. And we have the first female governor of Virginia. Yes, yes, congratulations to her. Oh, I got a name. It congratulations to the first governor. I'm gonna find out the name, chat down in the comments. And shout out to this young man, 22-year-old Jaden Williams, elected the youngest mayor in history of Stockbridge, Georgia. Listen, I don't know about you, but this gives me hope that America is not dying. Okay, that even though it seems like we're living in a twilight zone right now, that things are getting better. And I really, honestly, in my heart of hearts, even though we are in dark times right now, I do believe in America. I do. Huh? God has never let us down yet. And I really do think that we going to be all right, y'all. we going to be all right. Listen, do me a favor. Tap down in the comments. Make sure you click like and share. But let me know what your thoughts are on this election. Do you feel hopeful or are you still, you know, kind of don't know about this? I mean, the government is still shut down as of right now, but we will see what happens. All right, let's move on to Sonia Massey. I don't know if y'all remember Sonia Massey, the young lady. She actually called the cop because she thought there was an intruder, and she was unalived. Well, some good news on that. Former Illinois Sheriff Sean Grayson was found guilty of second-degree murder. And so, even though we were hoping for first degree, he was still charged, and justice has been brought to the Massey family. This is not the Massey family, but this is hopefully justice for future, justice for many out there, just to know that that the law is still working. Okay, justice is still being served, and to the Massey family, condolences to them, and even though this doesn't bring her back, this does bring justice back because time and time again in the past, we have seen where justice has not been served. So hopefully, we'll be seeing things a little bit differently in the future. Okay, rest in peace again. Now, let's move forward to something a little more uplifting. The Naya Monet, the first AI artist. Okay, she is charting the Billboard, the Billboard charts. The Naya Monet is charting the Billboard chart on the R&B adult charts. Okay, um, popular music, AR artist that is actually backed by a real person. Kwame, go ahead and play that clip.
I wanted to reveal myself because I wanted people to know there was a real person behind Zanaya, that there's real emotion and soul put into those lyrics.
Jones, who also goes by the name Nikki, isn't a singer.
That's it. She ain't got no talent. Well, let me see. I got caught up. She is a poet who was studying the art of AI, and she learned how to create this artist, and she has created a lane for herself with this music. And what that says to me is, listen, I used to this, okay? Hear me out. I used to be against this, but y'all, AI is here to stay. And whether you like it or not, I had a friend that used to tell me either change or change will change you. AI, Chat GPT, all of these tools out there, um, there for us, and they're there for to make money. Okay, I use it. A lot of people are using it. I went to a conference where I saw children making books creating T-shirts. So I hate to say this, but I think we got to get with the program. She is the first of. She's going to be the last AI artist. Um, I'm a little nervous, but I hope that these tools go into the right hands. So if you're out there, you're nervous about it, you don't know how you feel about it. Listen, if you're a great writer, if you're a great author, I'd say jump on the train. Some of you may not agree with me. I love real music. I love real people singing real music. And so that's where my heart will be. But I do understand that AI is here. So congratulations, Anaya. Congratulations to you. Now the question is, sure, will there be live performances? How does this work? Mhm. I don't know. You let me know what you think. Um, and that's all I got for that. Let's move on to Pastor Travis Green. Travis. Pastor Travis recently, let me get my preacher back. Pastor Travis recently um, can be found on video denouncing his fraternity Kappa Alpha Psi. And a lot of people had mixed emotions about it. I watched his video. Get into it on here, but you can go to his page and look at what he's talking about. He not only denounced Kappa Alpha Psi, but um, he hasn't recorded music in a while because he didn't want to make that his god, and he denounced being a pastor also. What I find interesting is how come he never spoke up about Chrisette Michelle. I don't know if y'all remember, but Chrisette Michelle, who performed at President Trump's first inauguration, this gentleman was there also. Yes. Hmm. Nobody said a mumbling word. And he never said anything or stood up for Chrisette Michelle. Just went on with his career and moved on. So I love the confidence. I love the wherewithal to be emotionally intelligent to for decisions, and I respect everybody's beliefs. It just seems like the outrage or the confidence is selective. You can denounce your fraternity, but you can't denounce misogyny. You can denounce, the music, but what about Chrisette Michelle? Is that not important? You help me out. I I could be wrong. And listen, y'all, as you're watching this, if you have thoughts on this, you let me know what you think. I have plenty of friends in the Divine Nine, and they have done great work for the community, part of our churches. Some of our greatest leaders are part of the Divine Nine, Martin Luther King, and Thurgood Marshall, and many more, just to name a few. So there just seems to be this popular denouncing of fraternities and sororities, and I, because they can denounce a fraternity and the sorority, but they can't denounce their their makeup lines that they wear, or their designer clothes. Listen, I'm just Daryl Walter, okay, and I'm happy. To me, I always say, if you're happy, I love it. Okay, Travis, continued blessings to you in your journey, and keep hope alive. All right, let's move on to Pastor Marvin Wines. Yes, look at him. Okay, all right, take a minute. Before I start this, let me just say that I love the Winans. Okay, CC still looks 22, and BB, huh? The Winans tomorrow. What is the question is? No, 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 no. Um, but I think the answer to this one right now is no, 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 hell no. Pastor Marvin Winans recently, his video, and I'm sure you all saw it. The video went viral of him It was a rebuke to me, but everybody has their opinion. I'm going off on the lady because she didn't give the correct amount that he called. Let's play the video.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000,
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
That was still cringy to watch. I just you know what it reminded me of, and as I was watching it, and hear me out when I say this, but it felt like when you watch the movies with the pimp and the hoe. I'm not calling the lady a hoe at all. Please hear me out. But like this all the money. This ain't all the money I asked you to bring. Oh Lord, forgive me. They're like, this all you got? That's not what I told you to bring. There's a Rihanna song, and you can just insert the title right there. But it just went along with "Don't pay me what you got." Okay, I don't want to lose our monetization. Um, Still cringe. Later on, they went to the news to rectify the situation and make sense of it. So let's play that clip.
You're the woman in that viral video.
Right.
He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction on the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving, and it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that, so I was calling them by increments. And we had someone that had given out of before, and I corrected it, and I told everybody to listen and come when you call, and that's all that was.
Roberta told me Pastor Winans personally.
Oh, and listen, I saw so many of you comment out there. Some of you agreed with it. Some of you said we need to stay out of church business. I grew up in the church, so we all agree if you go to a black church, um, um, this is common. You know, Here are my thoughts though. Just because it's common doesn't make it right, right? Recently, Tyler Perry donated money to the church, and I'm really trying to love Tyler Perry. I don't know why he injected himself in this. I just we're gonna leave that alone. Pastor Jamal Bryant had a service where instead of paying tithes and offering, he um he had them bring donations and stuff for people, especially in this climate that we live in. Listen, honestly, at the end of the day, it was just tone deaf. Right or wrong is not the answer to it. But what I do want to read to you is that Roberta McCoy actually posted on Facebook, and I'm going to read what she posted. Okay, now govern yourselves accordingly. Listen to this. This is what she said after after everything went viral, after everything was said and done. Roberta says, "It's like I'm turning invisible now. I'm no longer useful to them. I served their purpose. I was only damage control. They wanted to protect the name, protect the brand. Calls of concern have stopped when the media storm stopped. I see that with wide open eyes. They turned on me. They blame me. Now it's all my fault. They say I'm the one that owes Pastor Winans an apology. They say I need to grow up. I need to be an adult about this. My heart is broken, fading away. My big heart for people is shrinking into a shallow heartbeat. I can hardly hear my own beat anymore. She goes on to say, I am turning into a shadow. The light in my eyes are dimmer and I'm fading. Can you see me? Question mark, question mark, question mark. This is it, y'all. What I have learned, what I know to be true, is that at the end of the day, people only remember how you make them feel. Okay. And Leandria Johnson told us about Pastor Marvin Winans a long time, apologizing also. I don't have anything against the pastor. I don't have anything against giving. I have your lines, have your circles, have your treasure chest, have your car washes, have at it. But at the end of the day, it's the members that matter and how you make them feel truly matter. I could smell it a mile away when I saw that news conference. So many of us have church brain. Mm. So many of us have church brain. We are so caught up in the ritual, caught up in putting our pastors on a pedestal that we forget who Jesus is. Okay. Jesus came to save the lost. Jesus came and hung out with the poor. And I understand that the lights got to stay on. I understand bills need to be paid. But at the end of the day, come as you are. Whatever you have to give, just give. We are living in a post pandemic America right now where people aren't working, where people are living from paycheck to paycheck, are just struggling to keep the lights on and keep food in the baby's mouth. And you worried about, oh, it's not $2,000. That's not what I told you to do. The goal, the audacity. Is your music not selling? And again, I love Pastor Marvin, but it's time leaders be held accountable. We're gonna talk about that today. Um, to say the least, I am disappointed because we will never hear about this again. This lady, and I feel like we should just reach out to her and continue to show her love, and maybe I'll come back and maybe cash app or something just to bless her. But this is sad. And Pastor Marvin Winans is is the example of so many pastors who do the same thing. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's time for us to be accountable. All right. Lord, that was Hot Topics. That was the first one of the second season. Tap down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on these topics. And we're going to go to a commercial. So grab your little snack, get back to work. Make sure you get things done. And I'll see y'all in a minute. All right. Peace.
Hey y'all, it's Nicole D. Vick from Nicole D. Vick Live, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
Hey, it's Pastor Kim from It's Just Kim Live Show, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
welcome back to the Daryl Walter Show. And we are to the pivot. This is the part I'll talk about things, get real, and hopefully leave with a purpose. So today on the pivot, we are going to talk about accountability. And honestly, all the things we talked about in Hot Topics, from Pastor Marvin Wine to Sonia Massey to Keith McQueen. Honestly, Keith McQueen, I wasn't going to talk about him at first, but inspired me to he inspired me for today's message, accountability. So let's just talk about it. Honestly, accountability is not a punishment. Like, we look at accountability as if it's a bad thing. But to me, accountability is a call to truth. Accountability is a call to authenticity. Accountability is a call to something better and something greater. Um, there's been so many. I've watched all of them, so you don't have to. So here's a little snippet of Keith McQueen's media tour. Let's take a look at it.
You have spent the last decade winning arguments, but you are not saving souls. He said, look at the truth of people you're leading, and they're broken and they're hurting. And the message that you're teaching is not really healing. It's not. It's not even healing you. The people are bound. The people are, let's tell the truth about the health rates of the men in your congregations. Let's tell the truth about it. Let's tell the truth about the STDs. Let's tell the truth that a lot of your funding comes from that deficiency. We're presenting these healthy, monogamous, same-sex marriages that are not healthy. They are not monogamous. They are barely marriages. Within the LGBTQ community, you form a lot of familial ties, because many LGBTQ plus people have been removed from their families. They've been kicked out from their families. So they form these families. The problem is when you form a family in brokenness without understanding, you're calling this person a father, but you don't know the ministry of a father, and you're not even healed enough to be a son. I no longer wanted to engage in sex with men. I no longer wanted to do that. I no longer wanted to, um, I hate the word lifestyle. I don't really like to use that. I never like to use that term. Because engaging in that lifestyle,
Accountability. As I have watched Bishop Keith McQueen, I saw so much of myself in him. I am someone who grew up in the Church of God in Christ, someone who has been delivered on multiple occasions. Yes, I went up to the altar, I cried out, I shambulate and rolled all over the ground at the Church of the God in Christ, and I grabbed the mic, and in front of everybody, I proclaimed. I, I know you don't believe me, but it's true. I went on a journey. I left the church. Then I went to an affirming church, where I experienced some terrible things, to be honest with you. And looking back on it, I don't blame that church. I actually take accountability for my actions and my behaviors. I went on to find myself, through substances, through religions. I was Buddhist. There was a period where I didn't believe. I was agnostic. Then I moved to Vegas and I went back to a traditional church because I thought that was the best thing for me to do. And again, what I know now is I don't blame the church for anything. I was truly on myself, and I felt like I had to go to a traditional church, and it served its purpose until it no longer served its purpose. Because what I do know, John 8:32, I believe, it says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." And I found freedom in truly accepting myself. The truth is, I am a black, queer, God fearing man that loves God, who is gay, yes, who is black with these beautiful, and God loves me. And when I left that church, I decided, now for me, I decided I wasn't going to go to church. I questioned my whole belief system all over again. I questioned if I believed in God, and I knew I had been to so many churches that I was never going to go to church again. Anybody who was committed, I'm even shocked now to see my life as it has evolved. That I live in Atlanta now, um, that I go to a church where I can truly be myself, and still speak in tongues, and still praise, still pray to God, and understand God for who He is and who He has been to me. What I found in McQueen's story and so many other stories is that we need to take accountability. So many times the church, or we say, well, god um God spoke to me, and so that lifestyle is no longer for me, or I've been delivered. But maybe the truth is accountability needs to come into play for actions that you played in certain situations. For me, my true deliverance, because we talk about deliverance when we throw that word around, but true deliverance comes through taking accountability for your actions, for who you were and who you are becoming. And so it's gone viral. I want many of us to take away the lesson that there's a little bit of a McQueen in all of us, that there is a little bit of us really looking to find ourselves and looking to come up and elevate ourselves to another level. Now, this is his journey. And what I think with his journey, what I believe with his journey, is that he is going to find himself. And there are many out there. I have plenty of friends who were a practicing homosexual, and they are now married, or they are celibate, right? But my ideas has changed. You can't change your sexual preference. It's a part of who you are. And what I know is that sexuality is not just a black or white thing. We just get caught up in straight or gay, especially amongst black men. There is a whole gray area there, and that is okay. And guess what? God still loves you. And I feel like there's many of you out there that are still struggling because of traditional church, because of the old recordings that are playing in your head, because you don't want to disappoint your mother, because you don't want to disappoint your father, because you don't want to disappoint your family, because of what people, of what the world says. And I know some of you out there are like, well, Daryl, the Bible says, hey, I am not here to argue there. That you find somebody else to do it. Not me. What I do know is, for God so loved the world, everybody, person in it. And so, no matter where you are in your journey, what I really want to encourage you is to take accountability, take responsibility. That as you move through wherever you go, okay, this church isn't for me. Every church is not for everybody, and that is okay. Really wish Bishop McQueen would not have gone to that podcast. And let's be clear, he reached out to them. They did not reach out to him. Could he have had a conversation with his congregation first? Absolutely. Could he have had a conversation with people who and understand the thinking and his theology? Absolutely. Are there many people? Because let's be clear, in his interviews, and it's not what you say, but sometimes it's what you don't say. And in his interviews, what I think he left out is his role, responsibility in everything. That's great you were a virgin going in, but you weren't going out. And I don't know if I can say it, but you can't force the willing. Okay, it takes two to tango, or three or four. I don't know, none of my business, just allegedly. And to many people out there, this could be your story, and you've moved on. But don't forget to take accountability. Don't forget to own all of your story. That is the biggest lesson for me. That's the biggest lesson I had to, in order for me to find my freedom. I had to own everything. That it wasn't the church's fault. That it wasn't that man's fault at the church. He didn't force me to do drugs. They didn't force me to participate in. Well, we'll talk about that another time. I done traveled the world, the block, okay, and I own every part of the story. If somebody tells you I heard Daryl was over there doing things, probably true. But thank God for freedom. Thank God for deliverance. And thank God for being able to stand in my truth. Here's what I know: living in cost you. Being authentic is the price of freedom. But the experience and the joy of living in your freedom is priceless. So I hope that you feel empowered to be accountable. I hope that you feel empowered to own your healing. I hope that you feel empowered to live free. All right. And that is the pivot. All right, y'all, listen. We have covered so much from Marvel to the new AI artist. I cannot speak, Zanaya Monet, from Keith McQueen to Travis Green, and so much more. What I want us to realize as we end the show is that in this particular show, I realized that it's all about accountability. It's all about owning your truth and standing in your truth, when people agree or not. So for you out there, stand in your truth, stand on business, all right? And that is the first episode of the second season. I just want to thank y'all so much for joining me on this ride. Listen, or for you, we are going to have guests. We are going to talk about everything. So if you down with it, click like, click share, follow us on social media. If you want to bless us, my Cash App is somewhere up there. And until then, I will see you next week. We're going to do this every Friday, 9 a.m. time and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. All right. I got to go, y'all. Peace.
Thank you for watching Pyro Media Network. For more information, please visit pyromedianetwork.com.